Season 4, episode 8, I believe, because we miscounted at a certain point.
I wasn't recording. We have to do it all over again. No, I'm kidding. Continue.
Yeah, episode 8 of Motion Motion Podcast. Des, I'm Zach here with.
I have no name. I'm just kidding. My name's Lincoln. I just, dude, the whole episode just me like.
And me trying to fill time. So we watch
like,
Wandavision.
You're just there like, come on, man, you're killing me here.
It's like,
but we did watch Wandavision.
Episode number 6, because we are 2 episodes ahead of Wandavision.
Oh shit! And 8 is the octagon, so nothing I was about to say made sense. I was like, wait, it ends on episode 8, and the hexagon is 6 shapes.
Well, wait, isn't
6
there?
sides. Sorry.
Isn't there only 8 episodes, or is it like 9 episodes? This is like a mini.
No, it's only 8.
Okay, so we're one from the end, pretty much.
We're getting to the end game, which is gonna suck because I know when the finale comes out, I have to wait a week to watch it because we watch these like right before our show or recording.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, huh?
Okay.
Because the new episodes come out Friday.
That's true. But I was thinking
we normally do it till Thursday, and then we're like, okay, let's watch this together,
yes,
and then talk about it fresh. But the thing is, like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to prevent like. Twitter does not exist. Somebody comes like, oh, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. No, I was.
Dr. Doom was there. Like,
I had an idea for something that we were going to do in March, and I was thinking, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so I was like, WandaVision ends first week of March for us at least, and then something else that we'll announce later. But
at a later date.
At a later date. But yeah,
everything's at a later date, dude. That'd be funny. If video game comes out at a later date. What date? You keep saying this.
I mean, we'll get to that later in the episode. But there's a lot of games coming out at a later date.
I just was doing that.
It's like I feel like Lincoln's producing like
my head cannon. Okay, but yeah, so WandaVision episode 6 happened. I don't know what this is. Where you're like, I am.
Oh, I was like,
whiteness.
Yeah, this is the universal symbol for white man.
Yeah. Hey, you might want to do that because with sign language, you're like we're gonna get like a worded letter. You called me a monkey's anus. Like, how does that mean that?
Look. First we have feminist on our ass, racist on our. Now we're gonna have the sign language people on our ass for making fun of sign language. Like, what the hell, man? What are we doing? Hashtag cancel Lincoln. Hashtag cancel Zach. We're both canceled. Sorry, I don't know enough sign language to.
I love how you put me first on that cancellation.
I mean, your name starts.
Like,
your name comes Lincoln first. Comes first. That makes sense. Look, even on the screen.
Actually, technically, both ways, my name always comes.
Yeah, like technically, you're the first person on the screen. So like, it goes from left to right, or however you're watching this, right to left.
I was about to say, like, technically, you're the first person. That would be a paradox of hell, dude. If somebody says like, "Oh yeah, you're the first person," you're like, "You can leave." What? No, you can go. You have fucked over my whole reality. You need to get the fuck out of here. Speaking of reality bending, but
yes, good segue. Good segue.
Yes, that's what I did. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, episode 6 happened, and this was a heavy episode. If you want to admit, like, if you want to believe that it couldn't get any heavier than like the 4th one and the 5th one, because like it's Halloween, and we started off, we're like, okay, this is like Malcolm in the Middle. The intro is just like the two boys, like, they have their little monologue, like, we had a funny family, and this is this, and our uncle is here, which is Pietro, which is hilarious though. Little hint: Pietro doesn't look like how he looked like in Avengers The second one? Yeah, it would be the second Ultron.
Yes, he died in Ultron.
But he looks like what he looked like in X-Men First Origin, or is it called First Origin?
First Class?
Order.
No, I think it was First Class.
First Class.
Yeah.
Order. It's First Class. You're right.
He was also in Apocalypse, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, that's the sequel of First. He never died.
But he died in the MCU.
Yes, which is so. A lot of people have been hinting of or thinking of the fact that like Scarlet Witch is going to be like a precursor of bringing in like the X-Men and the Elder Spider-Man, like because Scarlet Witch is fucking with reality, and I'm pretty sure Loki, who is the trickster fucking god, is gonna fuck with time as he goes back and forth. So shit's about to rip up a hole to be like, insert these stories in here, like, without somehow fucking up everything. Also, I'm pretty sure like even like the House of Madness is going to be a whole thing. Spider-Man 3, when it comes out, is going to be a thing because hell, they revealed that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That has to have some like rewriting of like,
there's
nope, it's gone now.
Yeah, something's going to be crazy with that. I mean, I can't wait.
About to break. I'm kidding.
Hopefully with that they don't screw up that third Spider-Man movie like they screwed up the other third Spider-Man movie.
They're like, oh, we're gonna have Venom. Who else is gonna be there? Hobgoblin.
and
please tell me no Sandman. And the Sandman, mother of God.
And I mean, and the amazing Spider-Man was so bad it didn't even get the third. It just the second one were like
they fucked over like Rhino. Like Rhino was just a normal guy in a huge suit. The Lizard was, and
Jamie Foxx as Electro.
Oh, that was the dumbest thing ever. They're gonna know. And I'm like, I don't even think this is Electro's storyline. like, but I barely remember because most of the time when we see in the cartoon, we see him as just it's Electro. I don't think I've ever seen an origin story of Electro. Like, how did he get his powers?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the. Actually, wait, no, not even in the video game. Yeah, in the PS4 game, they don't. They're already who they are because you're like far into Peter's life. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
But in this episode, because it's Halloween and everything, Pietro's there, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go trick or treating," and Vision was already on Wanda's shit. Like Vision is like, "Hey, I'm going to act like we husband and wife, but you're doing something wrong, and I need to help people." Because even though like we were talking about this even before the show, we were talking like how Vision is like is predominantly a made up or makeshift figment, just like her two boys are, and Pietro is technically a figment. So the reason why they can kind of not really fuck with Wanda, but kind of just like, hey, we have independent thought towards Wanda because Wanda made them kind of or makeshift them into existence. So they have their own rules they can live by, sort of, compared to like everyone else who's just being like puppeteered barely. Because anyone out like apparently while watching the show, you see like people further down on the stretches of Wanda's universe or reality are just like doing mundane things and barely moving.
Yeah, like
the one focal point. So why does Wanda have to expand on that?
Yeah, the one woman with the.
Which is like, I just want to get to this clothesline.
The tear comes down her eye, and it's like, Vision's like, that's perplexing. What's going on here?
Oh yeah, no, because Vision's in the whole thing of like, this is fucked up, Wanda. You're doing something wrong, and Wanda doesn't want to talk to him about it because like, hey, we could just live our life.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Vision doesn't remember. We find out about this later in the episode, or a little bit clarified, I guess. Vision doesn't remember anything of the Avengers at all, or anything of that, because I'm pretty sure if Wanda allowed him to remember, Vision would have left day one.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He would have never stayed, because Vision has this, like, duty complex in it. Because even though he's amnesia, he still acts like, this is wrong what we're doing. We need to fight, we need to get out of here. Something's
like
fucked up.
Like even if Vision fully realized the fact that he's not alive technically. I think he would willingly go back to being dead for the duty of like, I can't be this is wrong. Like,
Yep.
I must be.
That's
you can't.
That's why he died in the first place.
Yeah.
Predominantly
Can't play
like,
God.
There's a reason why he's always worthy of the fucking hammer. Like, and I do like that like, because Vision, even when he was made, he technically, yes, okay, he has the whole thing of being Jarvan's like second version of him, but he still wasn't. He's known as Vision. He's still new. He was not Jarvis. And Vision just at normal is just like, yeah, I need to do things. This is the right thing to do. We have to be punished for our things. He's like a better version of like Iron Man kind of, which is fun because which was hilarious because Ultron's like Iron Man, but horribly worse. Like it's like, oh yeah, so all the bad stuff that makes Bruce Banner and Iron Man a thing, or Tony Stark a thing, like all the bad parts, Ultron. All the good parts, Vision. Like it was completely split.
Yeah, just like both sides of the spectrum here, But I mean,
That's the MCU for you.
Yeah, it was. The thing about this episode that I thought was really interesting was not just Vision's part in it, where he's like slowly discovering that what he's thinking is true, that like something's not right and I need to figure out what it is, but also like
something wrong with my wife.
Yeah, but her having Quicksilver be there, and the fact that he's aware of it because he knows his own sister, and like not all of his memories are gone necessarily. Like all he knows is that he remembers right before he died, and then being brought into this world.
Yep.
And even he tells her like he's like, hey, look, I'm impressed. I just want to know how you did this. Like how the hell did you set this all up? Like, it's just so weird though.
He's like, I'm just impressed. Which I think the reason why he doesn't remember like that he died or anything is because did Wanda see Pietro get shot down, or was Wanda told that?
Oh no, I think she was there, so I'm sure she saw him.
No, I know she was present, but I don't think she actually saw him get shot.
Oh,
so
so
that's maybe why. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking, she didn't see him get shot, but she knows he's dead, so I guess it would be easy to.
Oh yeah, no, she knows he's dead.
I know what you mean. She doesn't have the memory.
Of her reality.
Yeah, she doesn't have the memory of him.
He wouldn't have the memory. So, yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Like, oh yeah, I know it was shot down, and that's why he's so matter of fact about it, because he's like, yeah, it was. But he doesn't. She doesn't know the feeling. He doesn't remember it because she doesn't know it. Like she's just like, oh, which is funny because while she was talking about I was alone and everything, I'm like, oh yeah, because Pietro died. That's a bad thing. Vision died. Oh, that was her rock kind of thing. And we always have to remember, Black Widow died.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was another person of her.
Yeah, like somebody that she could.
There.
Yeah, like put her head on her shoulder type. Like, hey, we're friends. We're both. But.
Oh, dude, actually, no. There's even more because, okay, so Tony Stark dies.
Here we go. Let's put the strings on the board.
I'm thinking because, like, okay, Tony Stark is dead. That's another person she knew, kind of. Vision's dead. We have Captain America grew old, so that was another friend that she, like, kind of did. Okay, I think the only person she could have ever talked to was maybe the Hulk, and she never talks to the Hulk or Thor. So everyone that was close to her in the Avengers either is dead or old. Like,
yeah, I mean,
or just gone. Like, she didn't have closeness with anybody else.
It must be a character trait. anyone she gets close to dies. So keep that in mind for Phase 4.
That's why there's a part. Oh yeah, that's why a part like where Geraldine, which I hate that I never remember her actual fucking name because I'm so used to Geraldine. But that character,
friend of Danvers.
Why she's like, oh, I need to help. It's like I need to help Scarlet Witch because she's in pain. And I'm like, that's a good friend, because a lot of people are like, dude, she's dangerous as fuck. I'm like, yeah, she's only dangerous because she's hurting. She doesn't know how to deal with the hurt because she has no one to fucking talk to. Which I'm like, yeah, she really doesn't. Like, when she was saying it, I was like, wait a minute. she is alone. Like, who would she talk to? There's no one there. She could. The only person who's around, I think, is Bruce Banner, and we don't know what happened after Endgame because they kind of like, isn't his arm fucked up? Like, is that gonna heal, my nigga? like, yeah. Isn't he like dying of radiation poisoning? He's like, I'll keep alive for Tony. Like, I don't. You never see him in Spider-Man afterwards, so you're like, I don't know what happened to Hawkins.
Imagine if.
I found it weird though that.
Oh no, I was gonna say, imagine if she's like, well, the only person I could really still rely on is Captain America, and then she goes to him and he's fucking 80 years old, and she's like, oh my god, and then he's like, yeah, the Falcon is the captain now, and she's like, but I don't even like him.
It's like, well, you're gonna have to deal with it because I did this without consulting anybody, like I do everything, to be honest.
Have my shield.
I found it funny. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I just said, have my shield.
Oh, have my shield. He's just like, yeah, here you go. But I found it hilarious that, like, so, okay, Billy, I think that's the twin that was supposed to be, like, the second Pietro. Like, he becomes like Pietro. But the weirdest thing is that Tommy, or Timmy, I don't fucking remember their names sometimes, he actually, yes, he's supposed to, like, he inherits, like, Scarlet Witch's powers, but he almost looked like Doctor Strange.
I mean, I think his Halloween costume was kind of Doctor Strange-ish, but I don't...
Oh, no, I know he got the power of Scarlet Witch, but I thought that was a good, like, Easter egg, like, more because you know how Marvel Cinematic Universe works. They love to hint things like, this is going to come out later. You won't know about it.
So what you're saying is that Scarlet Witch will play a part in the new Doctor Strange movie?
100%. You can't call something House of Madness without me going,
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, House of M, right? Yeah. Connecting dots one at a time.
We're on the same. But yeah, no, like, so this story was kind of interesting. Of course I knew, like, the guy, because I remember when we watched, like, the first, or no, I think it was the fourth episode where you saw the guy, like, I'm the director of S.W.O.R.D., and I'm like, I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, I bet he's the bad guy. Like, I was just like, yep, I have put you as the bad person because you are a leader, and I could be like, oh no, things have changed since you disappeared. I'm like, oh, you're gonna allow fear to rule you and think that fucking they're like, no, we should probably take out Scarlet Witch. And I love how Geraldine was like, with what? Like, she made her own reality. I don't think normal shit's gonna work here.
Exactly.
He threw a fucking missile at her, and she just went, here's your fucking helicopter. Fuck you.
Well, and I mean, and with that guy, I mean, that moment where Vision is just laying there and he's doing jack shit to help him, and I was like, oh, I hate you so much, because Vision's basically dying in front of you.
Help them! Yeah, he's literally getting ripped apart.
Yeah,
and then, like, that's what close to the ending is Wanda, like, expands, which I don't know if it seemed like the expansion stopped after a while. She was like, it just took up the Westview and a little bit further up.
I mean,
and then wherever they were was a circus.
Yeah, it
which that's what it means to her.
Well, yeah, because she thinks they're just a bunch of clowns. That's why she turned them into clowns. You just got that?
I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that they were clowns. I was still like,
oh no,
what
like,
is happening?
Dude,
right my world is shaking right now.
The moment they turned into clowns, my brain was like, oh wow, yeah, that's how she thinks of them. That they're a bunch of clowns. Because otherwise, it's Halloween. Why the hell would there be a carnival?
That I would definitely not go to a carnival on Halloween. I am not. No, that is two forces working against you. I'm like, nah. Sorry.
That's an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode waiting to happen in real life, pretty much. But
most things of Halloween, you're just like, this is a scary. This is a scary day. But yeah, what are you gonna say?
One thing though that I was kind of disappointed on, we didn't get our '90s episode. They skipped. They jumped into the 2000s with Malcolm in the middle. I'm pissed. Why did they skip over our decade, man? Because Family Ties is from
But
the
you
80s.
did get your 90s. Oh yeah, that's true. But you did get your 90s commercial.
I mean,
You know that was in the plan of 90s. That was not a
kinda,
2000
sorta.
commercial.
I mean,
Because 90s was legit. All the mascots, like making them kind of 3D and having just like kind of disturbing like commercials. You're like, yeah, I don't think it would be a good thing if your body turned into an airhead. I don't like.
well,
What is this?
I mean, or a Capri Sun, you know, Capri Sun.
Oh yeah, when you turn into liquid, you're like,
That would have been funny.
How does he come back?
But they just have a guy on an island, and he's like, "Hey man, try out this yogurt," and he's like, "Okay," and he can't open the fucking yogurt, and the
How
time
did he
goes
not
by.
know how to open? I was just
He's
like,
huh?
and it just flies by and he just dies.
What was it called? What was it called? Like Yo Magic.
Yo, magic.
Which I was trying to like dissect the symbolism of it, because all these commercials obviously have like the symbolism of something, and it's like Yo Magic. It's the only thing left when you die, or something like that. Or no, if you survive, it's the only thing left if you survive. And I think maybe that's in her head of like, I survived, I have the magic. Our parents died, my brother died. Like, I don't know. I think it had to revolve around her family somehow. I'll have to watch it again, but it's. I was like,
because she was the only one that survived.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good for you if you. Oh yeah, and she's the only one that survived because she has magic.
Yeah. So it's
Wow.
it's Yo Magic. It's not my magic.
I thought it was like almost like a whole thing was like how Joe. I was like, oh no, it's not Joe Magic, girl. It's like, Joe Mama. No, I'm kidding. Classic 90s joke. Classic 90s. I don't think people use that nowadays, thank God.
Nah.
But yeah, no, it was a very tightly packed episode.
Yes.
And now we know that oh, what's her fucking name?
Agnes.
No, not Agnes.
Oh.
Oh, that was
a weird scene.
He's like, I'm just trying to go to the town hall. Town hall is there. Are you trying to go to a different city? And she's just like, like I want to leave so badly, and she's like, okay. And then she did the whole repeating thing, which is something that they do a lot. When they start breaking from reality, they kind of just do that whole like how in the second episode, stop it.
Yeah,
stop it. You're like, the fuck?
She did the repeating thing, but she was also at the intersection that she told her sons not to go to. She's like, don't go past those two streets. And it was weird because I feel like Agnes, at first, like I thought maybe she was in on it, because we were thinking, oh, maybe she's like that person that she knows, like her aunt or whatever, something. But I think like she, just like Vision, maybe has her doubts about this world, because she too was also I think it was in the last episode where she was like, do you want me to do the line again? Like she actually asked her like, hey, do you want me to run through that again? And I'm like, oh, so she's aware somehow.
Oh no, because they know.
Yeah, they know what's up, and the other guy too.
Of the closest one to Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and so
I think that's why they're like, because they're in that close knit.
Yeah.
Proximity.
Like I think she was kind of like forcing her way to like break out of it, and then but because she was still in the character thing, she couldn't do it, so she was just stopped there. And Vision took her out of it, but then he put her back in. Mm-hmm. And I think if he kept her out of it, she would have tried to escape, just like Vision did, because she was getting closer and closer to that. The other guy is he's the black dude. He's just stuck. He's stuck. He's like, Vision isn't on watch today.
I do like how Pietro's like, oh, woke up the kids for this little event because there were never children around. I'm like, they weren't there. No, I kind of knew that when I saw a lot of kids. I'm like, these kids are not supposed to be here. They'll explain it in the show, and they did, because she kind of, I guess, like outside of their like neighborhood, they kind of just don't have anybody else. Like they're just like. So out of their neighborhood, everyone's like asleep because there's no reason for them to be awake except if you go to the job and do nothing, or if you. or if you're part of his like knit group or whatever, which goddamn Scott Wish must hate. Like, Huntsman, you can't keep having friends. I have to keep having them exist like off their own reality, kind of. I need you to stop. It's hard for me to keep doing this.
Now,
No, her power is ridiculous.
now, I okay. I almost just thought that I came up with a plot hole, but then I realized it's not. Because okay, I was thinking about when they sent the helicopter in. Remember, or the little plane or whatever that was in the first episode. So I was like thinking like, well, couldn't they just drive through this thing? But if they do, then they're going to be turned into whatever she wants them to be turned into, to make sense in that universe. So they can't just drive tanks in and drive a helicopter in and take this place over. She'll just control whatever it is. So I was like, oh man, maybe they could just do that. But I'm like, yeah, no. Because, I mean, they know what it is now. They know what is going on. They know she's there. They know Vision's in there. They know... There's so many details that they know that it's like, if they had an idea to stop this, it could have come up by now. But they're kind of screwed now that she's expanded the the whole breadth of this thing to go, like, way beyond.
Yeah, because the problem is... Once they... The problem is they could technically stop her if they could ever get whatever they need to be the same thing while inside there. Which is impossible because the second it goes in there, it's like, you're going to take the form of this.
Yes.
Fuck you. Like, this guy was in a full-on suit, and then he went in and he was like, and you're in a bee costume. What happened to the suit? Matter means nothing in this reality. You're going to be in a bee suit. So you could come in there with, like, a fucking nuke. People like, how did he come into a party favor? This is a firecracker. What the fuck is this? like you're just like,
what the fuck?
What the? Because okay, you try to shoot her. Like it's she got that power, man. But again, I don't. And the way she's extending it makes me a little worried because I'm like, oh, don't tell me she's gonna be like how she was when she with House of M and everything, where she literally remade the world by saying 3 words. No more mutants, and that shit went.
Maybe this is Disney's way to like kind of reference the X-Men, but never make an X-Men movie by just saying, "Oh, Scarlet Witch got rid of all the mutants, so we don't have X-Men anymore." Oh, sorry, we're never gonna have them, so why not? It's possible.
Maybe that's why they never had mutants.
It's plausible.
Maybe she's done it before.
Oh no. Well,
maybe there were mutants all this time, and she's just like, nope.
Well, then, but then
she was a little child.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, then
that's
she.
That's a plot hole. I'm joking.
Yeah, because then she wouldn't exist, and neither would her brother, or neither would her father, and none of them would exist.
Well, when she did in the comics, she still existed. I think she just said no more mutants, and everybody like either didn't have their powers or they just ceased to exist.
Well, you know, in all fairness, never read the comics, so I'm just throwing things at the wall. And I have no idea.
Monkey wrenches, and you're like, why are they not sticking? Because they're wrenches.
Continuity is a word I don't know how to spell.
I would love for that to be a thing. Why are they not sticking? They're wrenches.
They're wrenches, yeah.
Who are you?
Look, but, I should have thrown shit at the wall.
Speaking of things that didn't stick, Nintendo Direct happened yesterday.
Yes, even though it feels like it might have been 20 years ago at this point.
Because it took like 5 months to make, and then okay, we're just going a little bit on this, like. Pretty much all I remember, to be real honest, is, of course, Pyra and May. What is her name again?
Agent May from Agent Shield.
No.
If Ming-Na Wen was in the Direct yesterday, it would have made it 10 times better.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think it would. She wouldn't even have to do a game.
I remember her name. She was just like, I'm here. Oh!
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, Pyra and her alternate. I cannot remember the name.
Starts with like a U, right? Or It's not Athena.
Starts with an M, dude.
No, are you sure?
Okay, you're okay.
No. Look, I'm not joking. I'm being serious.
No. I know Rex was there. That's it. But there was a good intro because he was just going around.
Mithra.
Like, Mithra. There it is.
Google.
Mithra.
That's what we got.
Yes. So like Rex was going around, and it's like, "Where's Pyra?" And no one knew where it was. And I'm like, "Okay, this can't be a Xenoblade game because of course Rex is the only one talking. Everyone's just like and doing all that shit." And then I'm like, "Okay, she's looking for Pyra. Pyra probably got invited to Super Smash Brothers. Oh, are they on Final Destination or was it Battleground? I think it was. Are they on this stage? Cool. This is her invitation. I just knew from there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. She seems like a cool character, and she has a whole transformation thing like Zero Suit Samus and Samus Aran, or Sheik and Zelda, or even the Pokemon trainer. I forgot there are also I was like, oh yeah, you do switch between them. That's how that works. But yeah, so they have that whole transformation. One is, I guess, more powerful, and the other one's more speedy, which her ability seemed like, I was just like, okay. And again, of course, like the meme goes, another sword fighter, da, 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 da. And it's an anime character. Also, I love the fact that like Sakurai, what was it, like 3 months ago, was like, Super Smash Brothers for all the good boys and girls. That's why we only put who did they put in the game? It was
who haven't they put in the game? Is the real question.
No, I'm saying
Terry Bogard,
from, King of Fighters.
Terry Bogard,
yeah. Because they didn't want to put Mai because of her revealing ways. But then at the same time, you're like, yeah. So what was your reasoning for Pyra? Fuck you. I do what I want. Sakurai was just like, I don't care. I'm like,
I mean, by comparison, like being honest, it's Mai and Pure. Like they're. Oh
no! I know it's a lot tamer because she doesn't show as like much skin, but at the same time, she has like the biggest.
Yeah, but
of the game.
But I mean, that's like, I don't think that matters. Like it's basically the skin, the revealing of the skin.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Like,
but
I mean, Bayonetta.
I say it doesn't matter.
Bayonetta doesn't do her Bayonetta doesn't do her special attack.
Oh god, no.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if she can't do that, Mai Shiranui cannot exist in this universe.
Yeah. Which understandably, I understand. Like I get you. Like, but at the same time, as a person who knows parents, it doesn't really take much for them to be like, oh, this is going to be for my child. No.
Did you just say as a person who knows parents?
Yeah.
You mean like as literally anybody on this earth?
No, but I'm just saying like as a person, like when
I know parents. I know what it's like to have a parent or two. And in my experience, parents just tend to not, they tend to not like that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, well, who's an expert on parents?
I'm just saying.
I mean, I know what you're saying.
They can argue for anything. They literally can argue
all
for
parents.
All parents. Like, because remember, in high school, we would get parents who would complain to the school, like, why did you allow my kid to watch Cujo? Your kid was not in my fucking class. The other kids had to sign a fucking waiver. Doesn't matter. They told my kid about it. Did your kid watch it? Like, he's just hearing things. It's not like hearing it's gonna break his brain.
What class were you in where you were watching Cujo? That's what I want to know. Because I didn't watch Cujo in any classes.
That was an example, but
okay,
I did. I did watch Cujo in a class though, and
seriously?
that was legit because of a sub. No, dude. This guy came in and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let you watch this crazy ass movie," and we're like, "Okay."
Nice.
And then it was like Cujo, and we're just like, This is a weird movie. Like, why are you showing this? I know Cujo's technically not a horror because it's a fucking Saint Bernard, but at the same time, you're just like, this is unnerving.
What if some kid was like, "Oh my god, are we watching Homeward Bound?"
Broken.
Like 5 minutes in, "Oh my god, he's eating his arm."
Hey. Wallace, there's an episode of there's a movie of Wallace and Gromit that, like, to this day kind of unnerved me. I don't think it wasn't the Were Rabbit. It was the one where there was a dog, and then he was like a robot dog, and then you saw him without the fur, and I was just like, oh no, honey, this is not for children.
I think Wallace and Gromit just unnerves me in general, hence why I just don't watch Wallace and Gromit. It's just so the claymation stuff and the weirdness of it. It's just very.
It just unnerves me.
It just unnerves me in general.
I'm good. I can watch Nightmare Before Christmas any day, but this is too much.
Wait, did you say
I'm out?
Did you say Naruto for Christmas?
But yeah, so I said Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I thought you said
Naruto Before Christmas.
No, I thought you said Naruto for Christmas. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, there's a special anime that you've never heard of. You're like, I didn't even know they celebrate Christmas. I didn't know that either.
Every year it's a tradition. I watch Naruto for Christmas. Just 24/7. I know. I don't even. My family wants me to show up and be present, but I tell them no. The Hokage's speaking, Mom. The Hokage's fucking speaking.
My parents want me to be there and be present. That's my favorite. Like, just not to only be there, but to be present. That means you have to be engaged into the song.
Like, show up.
Hey, that's a thing with kids nowadays with their remote. No, I'm kidding. with their phones and their little gadgets, dude. We talk about this a million times, but like, I didn't get a cell phone until 18. These kids be getting that shit at 2. Like,
I did not know that. That's new detail for me.
You did know that because my mom had to call your fucking house.
Oh yeah.
Where's my boy?
That's true. Well, sometimes she would call and it would be like this. I have a certain set of skills. I will find you and I will kill you. And I'm like, I told you I don't know where he is. I was too afraid to say. Good luck.
Then you hear like you just hear like the light like flickers and she's behind you. It's just like this.
Bumblecut.
That's weird. Oh, okay. But yeah, but more on the direct because we were just filling.
We're going off the rails.
Just trash. But okay, for me at least, okay. So for people like I have to always remember Nintendo is a system based for children, and I should not put exception or expectations on this as an adult. But I keep falling for this thing. I'm just like, okay. All it was legit that Super Smash Brothers started it off, and then it just declines kind of because they're like, okay, we're gonna have these games, and they're like the RPGs, and then they literally like, okay, so we're gonna also have these remakes and these games that we're putting on there that were on the Switch or on not Switch, sorry. On the Wii and the 3DS, you're like, oh cool, Plants vs. Zombies. We're wasting time on Plants vs. Zombies. That was one of the franchises I never understood why this is popular. I was like, and I heard that was a thing that I heard the concept of saying, no, I will not waste my time on this. You can go fuck yourself.
You said you
Candy
had
Crush, yes. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you said you had a hard time figuring out why Plants vs. Zombie was so popular, and then I said, well, meth is popular too. Doesn't mean you should smoke it, and that pretty much sums up why because Plants vs. Zombie.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I don't play it. I don't particularly care for it. I know somebody whose kids were into it, which makes perfect sense because that seems like a game that kids would be into. But I don't know, with this direct, like, I think that they had nothing. The pandemic hit them very hard.
Yeah,
they had no announcements for Breath of the Wild.
Said, we're developing on Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the guy was like, "Look, I thought he was joking. I thought this was like a typical Nintendo swerve where he's like, oh, we have nothing, but we have this video that we can show you,' and it's like, cool. Yeah. And then it's like, oh no, he's showing us an HD remake of Skyward Sword,
which looked the same. I don't know how it was HD remade. I'm like,
I
Wasn't
mean,
this only 20p? Like, what is this remaking of? Also, why are we remaking the game where it's just Navi's now a sword and it's annoying as fuck, man? She literally, I would hear something and then she'd be like, "Remember this?" I'm like, "Bitch, this happened 5 seconds ago. You need to shut the fuck up."
well,
Why do we have you this?
I mean, the one thing that I've learned with the Wii so far in the 4 or 5 years it's existed, so give or take, they've done a lot of these Wii U ports and brought games over from the Wii U because nobody, other than you, nobody had the Wii U. just nobody. I'm not hating on you because that's a very brave move to buy that console.
Dude, I legit only had it because of Smash and shit like that. And the Wii U Smash wasn't even that good.
And you can probably sell that for like twice what it's worth because everybody, for some reason, people are like buying Wii U's now because they're so rare. Like nobody had them, but they brought so many of those games over to the Switch now. Like the Donkey Kong one's on there. There's a few other just like Switch. The Mario one I think was a Wii U game. But this one, it's like, yeah, we just took this one. There you go. Just put this on it. I'm surprised they didn't do the Wind Waker because it already existed on Wii U. So just port it. It doesn't take that long to port that.
No, it's like, no, let's bring Skyward Sword, our success. And I'm like, okay, I guess, whatever. But and of course they had Mario Golf because they were always going to have another Mario game. No Metroid news. Fuck that.
Right.
It's dead on arrival. I have given up on Metroid Prime 4. Never fucking happened. And Bayonetta 3 is a figment of our imagination. It was a fever dream. Never fucking happened. That E3 never happened. What we saw was a blank screen. Nintendo wins again. That's all we saw.
First of all, Nintendo has you exactly where they want you because I think they want everybody to be like, Metroid Prime 4 is dead. And they want you at rock bottom. So then they can just bring it on out. Fingers crossed. But
dude, all they have to do is like legit Metroid Prime 4, have the Metroid Prime trilogy or quadrilogy, because that shit would just I would be instant. I would legit somehow find money and be like, take it.
but on top of that, Bayonetta 3, the whole purpose of having Bayonetta 1 and 2 ported to Switch was because they were going to have Bayonetta 3 as a console exclusive. What the fuck? Like that I'm more disappointed in because Metroid, I mean, look, they'll probably make a Metroid game for maybe a future Nintendo console. They might make it for the next Switch and say fuck this generation. But Bayonetta 3, it's like the intent was from the beginning and they just were like, well, we're not making it. It's like,
well, yeah, dude, like we're not making it. We're not going to be talking about it. The last time they talked about it was like, I think the last 3D with E3 where they're like, we are working on these titles. We have nothing. Like, then you're not doing anything. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah. Because I keep have to see another which again, we've already stated this. I do not hate Zelda and I do not hate Mario. They're very good games for what they do. Never saying that. They're very good games. What I hate is that they are the fucking franchise's majority and other IPs mean nothing unless you're making another fucking party game, which you're not going to support if it's not Splatoon. Like, they made a fucking Dodgeball, the video. I'm like, this is going to be interesting for 2 rounds. And that is it.
So, somebody wrote an article, and the title of the article is, it's been 1,169 days since Bayonetta 3 was announced for the Switch. That's years worth of days for people that don't count. So it literally was one of the launch announcements, wasn't it? That like, hey, we're bringing Bayonetta 3 to Switch. And it's like, this is going to be...
Same thing with Metroid Prime 4. That was supposed to be literally a console, like, December. Like, it was something like legit for the holiday weekend or holiday month. Or like, oh shit.
But the thing...
like, they listened to Salt and Pepper and were just like... Oh.
But the thing with Metroid Prime 4 that is more forgivable for me I guess is that they didn't say, oh, we're gonna release this HD compilation of all the other Metroid Primes before the game comes out. Bayonetta, it's like, oh, we made this compilation because this game's coming out like sometime soon, and now everybody has the Bayonetta 1 and 2, and not that those are great games. That's awesome that they're on Switch. I have the compilation. when the fuck is the third one coming out? I I don't know.
It boggles my mind.
I like Platinum Games. I like Clover Studios, the former Clover Studios, but a bit much.
Well, because it's even worse. Like Platinum Games, or actually, I shouldn't say Platinum Games. Sega was like, "Hey, we dropped the whole franchise of Bayonetta because we're going to focus on our Sonic game. The Sonic game sucked ass."
Wait, which Sonic game was that?
Was it
Was it
Sonic?
Generations?
I hope it wasn't Sonic Boom.
Oh no! If it was Sonic Boom, that was
No, Generations was
Sonic Boom was garbage.
No, I think because that was around the same time frame as Sonic Boom, but I kind of want me to be wrong. I'm just like, if they gave up this for Sonic Boom, I'm going to be furious now.
Look,
Sonic Boom was trash.
Yeah, Sonic Boom was trash. Sonic Mania was great. I like Sonic Mania. But that's not necessarily... I wouldn't call that like a new Sonic game in quotations. It's just, hey, let's remake... or let's make the old new again kind of thing. But they haven't made like a proper new Sonic.
Pretty much. It was a retro.
Yeah.
Well, it's so hard because Sonic doesn't work in 3D land where you're like, the whole objective of it is to go fast. But we're going to put billions of obstacles that fuck you up from going fast. Oh, are you still able to go fast? And this fucking game would only be 3 hours? We need to put in a stupid gameplay mechanic that slows you the fuck down. I'm talking about Werehog. What the fuck was that? Like, every time on the daytime, running around at this Werehog.
Or
this is 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
let's not even cover Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Chapter 1 or Part 1 and Part 2, which I was hyped for that when that was coming out for the PS3 because I'm like, "Oh, this looks like classic Sonic but in a 3D style. Maybe this is the way forward." I played it. It wasn't that it was bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was like average. And I just was like I was disappointed because I'm like, this is what you gave us? Like, this could be like a mobile game. This could be on a phone. Like, this is not quality stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
So, yeah.
I still remember Sonic Hero. And one was like,
that's
I
unique.
love Sonic.
That's a unique game.
No, it's a unique game. And I loved it. And I thought, I was like, I love this game. And then I saw, like Game Grumps and everything was, like, playing it over again. And I'm like, I never got past a certain level because it just goes shit grade after that level. I'm just like, there are way too many times that you fly off the handle and go into a pit of despair and have to go back and forth. And then the game tells you, hey, I get you. You finished the game. That was a horrible slug of hell. Do it 3 other times with 3 other people that are in the same concept of this.
Oh my god.
Just so you can get the good ending. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this.
Sonic
this takes hours of my life.
Sega had a nasty
Daisy,
Sega had a nasty habit of doing that, like with Sonic Adventure games, both of them. It's like, oh, play through this game 5 times. Like, it's like, well, I kind of just wanted to play with Sonic. It's like, no. You got to play with Knuckles, Tails, the fucking robot, and Big the Cat, and that's the only way you get that. I'm like, no.
And it was so stupid because, like, okay, when you had like Sonic Advance in those games, because
those are fun.
Playing them, it's 3 hours, and then you're like, okay, let me now play as Tails. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
But when you have Sonic Adventure, which takes a good 10 to 20 hours,
with all the
cutscenes, and then you're
cutscenes,
told do it again. I'm like, oh yeah, and the cutscenes. Which are now different because of the different fucking characters. So you're like, I have to still watch this.
Like, there's obviously still story here. You know, like it's almost like well, with Sonic Advance, you're not retreading, or you are retreading. You're not getting new story. You're just playing the game with a different character, but it's still fun. That's the key. It's still fun. Like, you want to play through it with a different character. Sonic Adventure, I'm like, I don't want to have to go through these levels again. Like, the town that's like half empty.
Especially because some of the characters are even bad. Like, dude, Tails, bro. Like, I'm like, why am I in a suit? Can't this thing fly? What is going on here? Like, he's like, oh, but he's a mechanic. He's 9. I don't care. Like,
he's 9.
I've known him as the Tornado. He's really.
Wait, that's his nickname.
He's
Tornado
young, dude. I don't. No.
I don't know.
I'm
It
saying
could.
because his plane is tornado.
Oh,
His plane was it's called tornado.
because I'm thinking, man, this could be like in an Archie comic that I'm not aware of, like Tails the Tornado Kid, Sonic the Fast Guy, Knuckles the Brooding Teen.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have an anger problem. What of it? Like, okay, Knuckles.
do you know the way? I know the way. With my fist.
Oh god.
Uh,
As he punches you, do you know the way? Oh, but yeah. But real quick before we don't have any time left, I just wanted to just to hit one of my things.
okay. Hit it.
I watched Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series finale. It was to me it was kind of a letdown because, well, first of all, last season was kind of let down because of the whole like we put her in a bad spot. Time travel, and I'm like, oh, but I already talked and harped about that like last year, so I'm not gonna bring that up again. But this one, like the Eldritch trailers were cool. It was a very fun concept of like okay, here's these stories that are like from H.P. Lovecraft and how the void was before God and the devil. But anyway, religion aside, but it was kind of an interesting thing, and then it just had like a letdown because of the whole like spoilers ahead. All the Eldritch trailers, of course, get defeated. Even the void, which is supposed to be the end of all things, but the way it had happened, like Sabrina had the void in her for a little bit because they tried to take her out of it using soul magic or some bullshit like that. There was also the inclusion of the Pandora's box, which I was like, oh shit. Anytime they ever go like Pandora's box, I'm like, I know about that box.
I'm all up in that box.
It's a very cool story. Anyway, but like she opened it up to try to get in the void, but something happened and the void's now in her. So she had like void magic or some BS like that. But they take everyone out of the void. To do that, they had to bleed her dry. It's explained in the story. I'm not gonna. It's hard. It made a portal because her void was coming out. But anyway, they took everyone out.
Sounds
and
weird.
Then, of course, Sabrina died because. Hands down. Of course, Sabrina died because of the whole fact that like she was bleeding profusely. So of course she fucking died. And then I'm like, okay, so she's dead because you just had to make this story where she just dies at the end. And I'm like, cool. But of course, because she's a witch, she can't go to heaven or hell, which was never explained to me properly. Or maybe it won't remember after like 4 to 5 years of watching this. So I'm just like, okay, so she's just in a void of some sort where she's just there. And then like Nicholas Scratch, if anyone remembered him, he was the one who always wanted to break up the Harvey and Sabrina thing because he was the bad boy. But apparently he gets the girl because he went in the Sea of Sorrows and apparently drowned and died. And somehow went there also where Sabrina was. I'm like, well, at least we can be there. We could be together forever. I'm like, y'all are 17 in a white room. There's not a lot you're going to be talking about for eternity. That relationship will last a week max. Like, what are you going to talk about? Yeah, I remember our lives. Yeah, we lived them. It's done. There's no sleeping. There's no eating. There's just here in this moment.
Remember that time that I did this? Is like, yeah, you told me that 500 times in a row. I already know about your life. That's all we talk about is our lives.
That's all we got. That's our entertainment. So I'm just like, okay, that's kind of weird. Yeah. And then also there's like plot because again, this is the series finale. They were supposed to end it in the comic book, which I fucking hate when they do that. Also, I didn't know Riverdale had witches because I don't pay attention to Riverdale. Because I was like, teen drama on CW. I'm like, I will pass. I already hate that CW is way too dramatic.
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of Riverdale, and I can totally see why it's popular. Like, I think it does have good elements to it. It does.
They're hot people.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that's one of them. But I mean, yes, it is a teen drama, and CW is filled with many of those. But it's worth checking out. If you did like Sabrina, I'd say check out Riverdale. Like, check out like the first season, and if you don't like it, then never watch it ever again. Ever, ever, ever. Don't watch it.
Ever. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so there was supposed to be a comic where like those witches go off the ones out of Riverdale, but I don't even know how that's supposed to work because again, Sabrina's locked in a void of some sort because that's how her death works. I don't fucking understand. But yeah, no, it was a weird like ending, and it was kind of a letdown, which kind of let down the whole series. Like at first, I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting, especially because Sabrina now has two of herself, so of course that's gonna fuck up. I don't even know how she thought that was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm like, no, you're not supposed to have two of you in any existence. Like, I'm pretty sure that's just breaking reality at the point of you being there, especially because you had to time travel for this to work. So it's not good. You touched and one of you is in a realm of the infernal and shit like that. Also, there was a whole weird thing where Lilith killed the devil, or was supposedly supposed to kill the devil and swallow this blood so she could get celestial powers. Weird. And then he's like, "Oh, you're banished." And then they're just like, "Okay, that happened. So Satan's now banished on Earth to do whatever and can't be a normal person." And Lilith just rules the throne, but we don't care about that. Like, we're gonna move on to something else. I was like,
yeah.
I guess, and this is never going to be like. I don't like things that just okay, we were rushed, so here you go, deal with it. Like when I watched Star versus Evil, and then they literally bring in the magic world into the human world, and that was just the ending. I'm like, that would cause so many problems because now none of the humans have magic to fight monsters, and we're not just gonna be like, oh hey Kubasabi, cool, you're the size of a fucking mountain, you're afraid of us for about 3,000 years. You think we're just gonna accept that monsters exist and are bigger than us? Also, we're overcrowded already. Like it's not like humans are overcrowded and struggling to survive. Let's now add giants to the fucking equation.
It's like, can't you see that we have a pandemic? It's like, well, we're magic. We don't give a shit. I don't know. But
it was just, I'm like, cool. But
overall, though, well, okay. So, is this the last season of Sabrina?
This was the last season. This was a series. That's how it ended.
Okay, so as a series, what would you give Sabrina? All the seasons compiled together, out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Fair.
The last
that's
two
fair.
seasons were
Yeah, that's very fair. The first two were like, wow, this is amazing.
High.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the first two were amazing, and then it was just like, meh. Because I think the first two, because why it was amazing was like, we are stuck. We are in the epithets that, okay, Sabrina is the Satan's daughter. This is a whole thing we have to get into this instance, and the witches are supposed to be like, they're like, oh, we believe in Satan and blah 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 blah, and the Dark Lord. Oh, they use that word way too much. But yeah, all that stuff. and then the next seasons are like, oh yes, there's also the gods of Greek, and Pan is a thing too, and the old gods, and then this one's like the Eldritch gods, and I'm just like, it should have just left it with the celestial stuff. Like, also the fact that like, oh, we pray to Hecate. I'm like, is Hecate like, is she existent? Like, you're just getting power from a known source? Like, you never see this god. I didn't know the Greek gods just exist. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it had the plot holes a lot. Yeah, it was just. I do like that they did switch the mold of like Harvey and Sabrina being together and not being together in Chilling's adventures, because I was like, I don't want to see this whole thing play out again. I've seen it in Sabrina; they did it better, to be honest.
The sitcom version.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also find it weird that there was a sitcom and a cartoon playing around the same time.
Yeah, and I remember
with different stories.
yeah. Well, because I think the cartoon was more closely related to the comic book, and the TV show was like, I guess Sabrina's a comic, anyways. Disregard what I said.
I'm making it up as I go.
Yeah, just disregard it. I just realized it at the same time. But
Zach, tell us where they can find you, sir.
W. Von Lewis, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. We have Moshi Moshi Pod, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. We're on YouTube, so look that up. We stream this on Twitch. For people that, if you're not aware, if you're on Twitch right now and you're watching this and you're not aware that you're on Twitch, you may need to get yourself checked out.
You may need to go to 9-1. Get your life.
you may be stuck in Wanda's vision.
Wandavision.
Yeah.
I haven't moved from this spot in 3 days. Wandavision.
Somebody's watching our stream and a tear goes down their eye and they can't move because all they have to do is watch us for hours and hours. But anyways, yeah. So we have that. We got t-shirts, astrellis.threadless.com. And the podcast is everywhere.
Stitcher, Spotify, Audioboom. Stop doing that with your finger. iTunes.
For the people listening at home, I just put
Podcord.
Just put my finger right up to the camera like this.
You just did ET to the camera. ET phone. No, touch the camera.
ET
Also,
make
hey
mistake.
ET.
I'm not a big ET guy.
Yeah, we already went on that, but it's an overrated show. I don't care. Come at me in the comments at Cheodor. Yeah. Try me.
Find
but
him.
That is my Twitter, by the way. Damn, that sounded like an actual find him. Like people just busted into my room. You said you hate ET? I will say it again. I'll never stop. But yeah, my Facebook is Lincoln Washington Edwards, which is my whole name. So whoop-de-doo. And then with that, BFN. Bye for now.
And pork chop. This episode's brought to you by Iron Boss, Suntory brand, energy drink, Japan.
No, we're not sponsored. Stop it. We'll be sued in 2 minutes. I'm
1,000 milligrams of GABA. GABA.
What is GABA? The world will never. I don't like that. It sounded exactly like that. The world may never know.
But
by the way, I stopped it.
Yeah. So for the people watching on Twitch, you get to see this extra 2 seconds of me holding Iron Boss coffee that we're not sponsored by.
Sponsored but not sponsored.
Yeah. Bye.